Beware the creep from the deep. This is your spooky look at the Diamond Select Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare, the Marine Biologist Zombie versus Toxic Pea. The zombies are coming. Based on the hit game Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare, it's all out war as the plants are battling against the vicious zombies, looking to not only stake a claim in your yard, but to also feast on your delicious brain as well. Sweet succulent brain. Before we get a closer look at the Marine Biologist Zombie and the Toxic Pea, the first thing we're going to do is figure out how tall the figures stand. Stopping the tape measure at the very top, there we go, the very top of the Marine Biologist Zombie. You're looking at the figure standing 4.9 inches in height. And switching that devilishly to centimeters. Are centimeters devilishly? Anyways, you're looking at the figure standing 12.4 centimeters in height. And we're going to switch that back, there we go, back to inches. And we're going to take the measurements now for the Toxic Pea. FYI, if you ever have in the sentence saying Toxic Pea, go seek medical attention. You should never have Toxic Pea. The figure of the Toxic Pea, however, stands 2.9, a little bit smaller, 2.9 inches in height. And switching that to centimeters, then you're looking at the pea standing 7.5. The pea is standing 7.5 or 7.5 centimeters tall. Yes, definitely seek medical attention if you're battling some Toxic Pea. Anyways, let's have a look at the product catalog, a sampling of things that would have been released by Diamond Select back in the day of, think, 2016, 2017. So, I mean, these figures are quite old. And unfortunately, like with most figures that get out of circulation, the prices have skyrocketed. And I think some of these scalpers that charge the prices that they do for these things online, I think they're zombies as well, brainless zombies. Anyways, looking at the figure lineup here, you can see each one of them sort of have paired a zombie with a plant. Or in some cases, if the plant was small enough, they may have put two of them in there. But you sort of get the idea. Some pretty fun-looking action figures. I really did drop the ball when it came to picking and collecting these, because I really would have loved to have these in my collection, especially like the Deluxe Yeti figure. Very cool. On the back, however, there is also some mini-mates available only at specialty stores, apparently, on these ones. Available at Toys R Us for these ones right here. So again, very, very cool. I wish, again, I had got on board those, because unfortunately now the prices are ridiculous, and I don't want to pay those prices. I do not want to pay those prices. To come included accessory-wise for the Marine Biologist Zombie, you do get yourself the Dolphin Gun. Now, the neat thing about the Dolphin Gun is you can have it in one of two styles. You can either have it just floating, like this. It's a bad simulation of how a dolphin floats. And you can see there's some really neat cannons along the top area there. Some thrusters. Well, it's not so much a thruster. It's sort of a sight scope there on the back. And, of course, you got the little handle down below. But the way that you can display it is either one of two ways. You can either display it like this, where basically you have it just pretending to float. And that basically comes by use of this display stand that just sort of plugs into the hole located in its belly, just like that. The other way that you can display it, obviously calling it a Dolphin Gun, you would think that at some point that would mean that somebody's going to be wielding the gun. And you can actually take it, grab the Marine Biologist Zombie, and you can fit it into his hand. Isn't that awkward, eh? Imagine firing a dolphin cannon at people. I mean, for starters, you'd want to be careful. Dolphins are mammals, after all. They care and love just as much as we do. Don't, whatever you do, turn them into cannons or guns. But the idea is, though, that you can take the handle, let me just get around his tank here, and just sort of fit it down into his hand. It's sort of difficult at times because his arm wants to move around on me. But that's basically what you get. I guess, really, you could either display it like that, or, again, if you want to have some extra support, you could put the stand underneath the Dolphin Gun, and you can just kind of help to keep it upright. But it seems to hold okay. I mean, it may add a little bit of stress to the joints of the zombie, but hey, he's not going to complain about it. He's a zombie. Nobody's going to listen to a zombie anyways. So anyways, that is what it looks like with the Dolphin Gun in his hand. I think that kind of adds a little bit of extra pizzazz. Anyways, we're going to take that out of his hand. Just like that. I always feel like when I'm doing this, when I'm about to take that out of his hand, I feel like I'm going to yank his arm off. So far, come on in. So far, that hasn't happened yet. The other thing I did actually include, or didn't include when it came to the accessory list, and kept in his feet when it came to measuring him, is the supply display stand. And the reason why I did keep it on his feet is because if you put him down on his own, he is extremely back heavy. He doesn't have really any articulation in his feet. He has it more so in his waist. But because he's got extremely back heaviness via this tank, literally this tank that's on his back, it causes the figure to fall off or fall over lots of times. So do make use of these display stands. They're there after all. Don't lose them. If you lose them, this guy's going to fall over. So don't lose them. But no pressure. Anyways, having a look at the zombie, why don't we first look at the one thing that causes the figure to fall over so frequently, and that is this water aquarium tank that's located on his back. You can see there's a little dial down below and a feeding tube that goes all the way up to the top and also feeds up to, well, basically is strapped around his body. You can't remove it. If you think you can remove it, you would be wrong. Wrong. You can't remove it. But it's got definitely a neat looking face to it. The marine biologist zombie studies marine animals, and I guess in the process and eats the zombie animals, and that sort of turns them into zombies. I guess I don't know how that works. If you ate or bit down to a dolphin, would the dolphin turn into a zombie dolphin? I don't know. I need to find an expert that specializes in zombies. Anyways, though, the marine biologist zombie, as you can see, is wearing some glasses. Has a little snorkel there on the side of his face, and also has goggles. Apparently, the trick to seeing underwater is that you have to spit on the inside of your goggle. I've heard that. I've heard that from many people. I've heard that also from LeVar Burton on Reading Rainbow. Spit inside the goggles. Now, I don't know, again, would a zombie... I guess a zombie has spit. It's always drooling, after all. I would think there's enough of that it could just dribble into the goggles and just wipe that down. That would prevent the goggles from fogging over. The paint is sort of just the same coloring as his face. And I guess if you were to see through these, you probably would see a little bit of the blue behind it, but they ended instead of just painting it the exact same color as the rest of his face. He's also got himself a lab jacket on, too. Is he going underwater with a lab jacket on? That's going to get wet. I guess that's the least of our problems. But it's a decent looking zombie. I even like the fact that his back scuba mask has a little bit of hair that's sticking up. That's a really nice touch. The articulation on the marine biologist zombie, his head does rotate back and forth. You want to really be careful of this snake that's sticking out. Oh, yeah. Bring your attention now to the snake that's been slithering its way this whole time. But yeah, the snake sort of does get in a way when it comes to rotating its head back and forth. Sometimes the snake gets caught into the hair. You don't want that. Nobody wants snake in your hair. But the head does rotate back and forth. It does actually have a ball joint too, so you can bend the head down, you can bend the head up, and you can also rock it back and forth as well. Despite for the fact that these figures are 4 years old, give or take, they do have a fair bit of articulation going for them. The arms also, in addition to that, are also on pin and hinge joints. So not only can you rotate the arms back and forth, but you can also hinge them out. How about that? That's on the case on both sides as well. This other hand here, and also in addition to that, they have rotation in the forearms. But this one other hand right here serves little to no purpose, unless he's asking for spare change. I really don't know. Maybe asks for help. Maybe he's asking you to pull him up from the waters. I wouldn't do that. That's usually a zombie trap. I've seen that in the books for the longest of times. He does have waist articulation, and he has no foot articulation to speak of. There's his flipper. Kind of looks like he's got a little bit of kind of looks like a sad ghost, like a really distraught ghost. It's okay. It's okay. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and put him back on his display stand, because without the stand, let me tell you, this thing's going to fall right over. Just pray that you don't lose that stand. If you lose that stand, you're out of luck. You're out of luck, because the zombie's going to fall straight down, straight over. Just too much tank on the back of the zombie's torso. That would be the marine biologist zombie. Let's have a look at the corresponding plant that's going to go with that, and that is the toxic pea. We'll make no more other jokes about seeking medical attention if you have toxic pee, but always check the coloring of your urine. How's that for adding that to part of a toy review? Anyways, though, for the toxic pee, taking some necessary precautions. You can see the toxic pee is wearing a gas mask. Good idea. You never know. You never know what you're breathing in, especially now today. Sort of this plays heavily into what we're dealing with in the world right now. We're all supposed to be wearing masks. The marine biologist is choosing not to really wear much of a mask, but he's dead anyways. The toxic pee is the smart pee. He knows to wear the mask during these trying times. The mask is really nicely painted as well, still giving an opportunity to see some much-needed pea eyebrows. Did you know they have little eyebrows? They do, right there, sticking out. As you can see, some nice coloring on the interior of the mouth. Generally a very lime green colored pea. Not a color you really should be... Okay, we'll stop with the pea jokes. Some nice leaves sticking out the back of the head. As you can see, there's some vines there also on the back as well. It doesn't have a display stand, nor really does it need a display stand anyways. It stands perfectly fine, being that it has this sort of quad tripod. I guess it wouldn't be a tripod. Would it be a quad pod? A quad pod? Is that 4 legs on a tripod? I don't know. I'm not an expert on marine biologists, zombies, or tripods apparently either. I like the fact that there's some leaves dangling over the front. Again, you got some vines there. A nice touch also is the fact that the peas, I don't know if you can see it, there's some peas in the pod. There's 4 of them actually to be exact. As the color changes, gone from the lime green color to sort of more of an off yellowish green on the end there. Nice touch there. For the articulation on the toxic pea, I just feel so awkward saying that. It has ball joints in the shoulders, so you can move the arms up and down, and you can also hinge them in and out like that to get the proper angle for shot that you need. Although I guess it's firing it from the top there. The head also is on a ball joint. It rotates up and down, and you can also rotate it back and forth. And it doesn't seem to have any articulation on the lower half. I thought there may have been, just the way that it's got this line you sort of can see right there. I guess maybe it's just the way it was assembled more than anything else. It doesn't seem to allow me to rotate it. And again, the last thing I would want to do for such expensive figures to find now, ouchie, is I would not want to have that break off. But again, fun-looking figures. Sort of falling into, I think, the vein of a spookerific review, simply because we're dealing with zombies. We're dealing with sort of pandemics right now with gas masks on pea pods. It's a good-looking set, just a little more expensive to pick up if you're looking to pick up any one of these Garden Warfare zombie plant packs for yourself. So, yeah, I got a question. Is Plants vs. Zombies a thing anymore? I mean, I get it. It's probably still a thing, but is it a thing? Like the hot thing? As it always goes when it comes to app-based games, they come and they're hot for a minute, and then before you know it, they're replaced by the next big thing that everybody is playing. So I'm curious, does anybody still play Plants vs. Zombies? It's probably been years that I've had it on my phone, and I don't even think I've played a game. Probably it's been months, years. Maybe it's only been about a year. But it's been a while since I've played Plants vs. Zombies. I really should get back into that. It was a fun game. I don't really know what happened that I sort of just drifted off. Oh, right, yeah, adult responsibilities. Curse you, adult responsibilities. But these are fun figures based on Garden Warfare. Of course, Diamond Select have released several of these sets over the years, at least time-stamping it around 2016. That's what the packaging says, at least, 2016, so about 5 years ago. Of course, good luck finding these sets now. If you were to stumble onto these online, you probably would be having to buy these from Heartless Monsters. Speaking of Halloween, these Heartless scalpers that are selling these at incredible prices. I'm not willing to pay that to go back and try to pick these up. My only hope is I can find some random comic book store. I just happen to go in, and a comic book store guy is just selling these at like $5 a set. I'm trying to keep the giggling inside so he doesn't know I know something that he doesn't know. Quickly buy him and run out before he's any bit the wiser. But let me know down below in the comment section what you guys think of Plants vs. Zombies. Do you still play the game? And let me know what you guys think of these figures. I think they're fun figures still for being 5-year-old figures. They're pretty posable. They look like the game counterpart. And I like, again, the fact that Diamond packages, in most cases, a zombie with a plant. If you only luck out and pick up one of these sets, you can still somewhat play a game. It's going to be a very short, uninteresting game because you literally have one plant and have one zombie. I don't know. It's going to be a very boring game. But if you manage to pick up any one of these in the years that have followed, let me know down below in the comment section. Or based on this review, what do you guys think of the Marine Biologist zombie and the toxic pea? I'm making no other jokes and references to having toxic pea. If you are new to the channel and liking the content you're seeing, maybe perhaps you'd like to come back to this channel during the month of Spottober and see the ghoulish videos that I have lined up. Make sure you hit that subscribe button down below if you haven't done so already. Move on over to the bell that sort of is just, it's making these moaning sounds. And I'm a little uneasy the fact that a bell is moaning. It's sort of going, oh wait, that could be also the zombie behind me. As we certainly wrap things up, because I have to quickly check and see if there's a zombie behind me, certainly keep those ghoulish peepers of yours peeled, as there's definitely going to be much more videos coming your way during the month of Spottober. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.